What? It's 2022 already? It feels like 2021 was just last week. I was hoping that 2021 would be better than 2020, but it turned out to be basically the same. In celebration of this shitty year, I was hoping to just spend some time talking about the issues we faced in the last year and what we should expect going forwards. In other words, I'm going to rant a little bit. Let's start off with COVID-19. It feels like every time we make a stride forwards, we get set a mile back. This new Omicron variant is basically the I told you so variant, because here's the thing. With how the system works, all the rich countries are hogging the vaccines. With few to go around in developing countries, the virus has a much higher chance of mutating. I genuinely believed that the pandemic would have started to phase out once the vaccines were released. I truly did not think it would be this bad, where poor countries are left without a significant share of the vaccine, and this virus will continue to mutate. Unless richer countries put in significantly more effort to getting the rest of the world vaccinated, we may just be on loop forever. Of course, that doesn't mean there haven't been efforts. That being said, these efforts are not only minimal, but some distribution efforts were done so poorly, such as notifying other countries of shipments only weeks in advance for vaccines that need resources for storage. Look, it makes sense to worry about the people of your own country before the people of others, but we have to start understanding that helping others will in turn help ourselves by preventing the virus from getting out of control and producing new variants. Hopefully, Omicron is a wake-up call to all the developed countries out there. Also, we need to have some rule about pharmaceutical companies sharing their vaccine recipes so that developing countries can produce it themselves. Like, what the fuck is that? Okay, so let's talk about Omicron. At the time of this recording, there seems to be preliminary evidence that Omicron is more infectious but less severe. That's expected because viruses do tend towards something like that. Of course, there has also been some evidence that Omicron is just as deadly as Delta, so who knows? We'll have to wait and see for more data. The best thing for us to do right now is to get vaccinated. If you haven't gotten your booster yet, it may be a good idea since 2 doses is very ineffective now. On some brighter news, we've made a lot of progress in the science as well. The Johns Hopkins University has released a study showing that over 50% improvement to patients if convalescent plasma is administered early. That could change a lot in terms of how we view COVID treatments because convalescent plasma is always available from anyone who has been infected or vaccinated before. Meanwhile, we have also developed oral pills that can be taken to treat COVID. This is life-changing because of its convenience and ease of use. Treatments don't just need to be effective, they also have to be practical, and oral medications is a good step in that direction. We also got COVID vaccines approved for children and teenagers, which is amazing in getting more of the population vaccinated. It's crazy how if human beings really need to get something done, it gets done. There are plenty more scientific advancements to COVID treatment. I highly recommend reading up on it if you have time. There are news articles you can subscribe to that keeps you up to date with this kind of stuff. The final words I want to say regarding this is that COVID is never going away. That doesn't mean we should lift our masking or vaccine recommendations and mandates, but rather we need to be developing tools to expect a never-ending war, such as a yearly vaccine that goes along with the flu, for example. That might be our most practical option. Moving on to more depressing news, I really do want to talk a bit about the recent abortion bans in Texas. And you know me, I don't like to talk about this topic because it gets my videos demonetized, but I'm also so angry about this I can't hold it in. Texas has in recent months implemented a 6-week abortion ban, and the Supreme Court chose not to intervene. Ridiculous, considering that many women won't even know they're pregnant at 6 weeks, and that doesn't even mean you have 6 weeks to make a decision. No, you have to go through all the legal and financial obstacles that stand in your way, scheduling, preparing, all while in the middle of realizing you're pregnant before the 6-week time window. Sounds difficult? Because it is. I truly don't understand how some people still don't understand this simple concept that banning abortions do not stop women from getting abortions. Instead, they either end up traveling to nearby states to get one, or they take matters into their own hands with either a coat hanger, rat poison, or God knows what other horrible methods that puts the mother's life in jeopardy. Abortion bans do not reduce the total number of abortions. They just increase the proportion of unsafe abortions. And this has been proven by studies over and over again. You see why I think Republicans are scientifically illiterate? This is why. You keep giving me reason to believe you are just completely detached from reality. These people don't care at all about the unborn life. They only do this so they can feel better in their twisted sense of morality, so they can give themselves a pat on the back at the end of the day and think they've done something positive for the world. It's never been about actually helping people. And don't get me wrong, no one likes the idea of getting an abortion. No one is willingly getting pregnant just to remove some cells in their body. But the answer to reducing abortions is not to restrict them. It's to provide better sex education and access to contraceptives, which unfortunately for us, not everyone has access to. I always think to myself how lucky I am to be male and born into a family that is able to provide me with proper education, because I can't even imagine what some women these days have to go through. Just waking up one morning after a night with somebody and possibly worrying if your life is going to be ruined by some cells growing in your body. And then having the state government come up to you and say you're forced to have that baby. We focus so much about the baby, even when it's just a couple of cells in your body, giving these cells more rights, when in reality, I'm pretty sure it is proven to, without a shadow of a doubt, that women are proven to be fucking human beings. And as human beings, they deserve rights. If this video doesn't get demonetized, I'll make a video on abortions and the science behind it later. Happy New Year, everyone.